Boom, we're back. Absolute Sure Podcast. It's your boy D Fran.
Boy, be near.
Another week, another episode. A couple things we got to get into today. Breaking news. I found this out at 7 a.m. while I was getting my window repaired. I just heard a guy randomly yell it out about Brittney Griner being freed from Russia.
Randomly yell it out like.
Yeah, when I say yell, I mean he's like Brittney's free, but he was just like he was talking to the clerk lady. Did you hear that the Brittney Griner girl just got released and they swapped her for a Russian criminal? And I was like, oh shit, interesting. I mean, we kind of predicted that they were gonna let her go before the end of the year. Like it just had to happen that way. Like, at some point, it was gonna, happen and boil over. And it just so happened that hey, she get to come home. She missed Thanksgiving. She get to come home right before Christmas. So, Merry Christmas to her family. We'll get into that. We got a couple things to get into as well. EDP, open marriages, and a bunch of shit of that nature. So, we did good things. You got any good things before we get started?
Do I have any good things? No, I really haven't been thinking about it because we ain't been doing those. Good things, man. Shit, I'm here. I'm living. I'm breathing. I'm happy. Shit, we good.
Yeah, we got the award show coming up. Award show's coming up. I don't know if we picked the exact date. I don't remember if we picked the exact date in a little meeting we had, but award show's coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. So, without further ado, we might as well just hop right into it, right?
Yes, sir.
So, obviously, the biggest news story of the day, Brittney Griner is free. Brittney Griner is, I don't know if she's home yet. She's flying from Abu Dhabi to get here. So she should be home momentarily. Good thing for her, good thing for her family, her wife, all those people like that. When you saw it initially, what did you think?
Unfair trade. I'll be real with you. If I'm be real with you, come on, bro. Like, NBA player, I don't care if it was an NBA player, WNBA player, an athlete, entertainer versus a god of death. I'm bullshit, but what is his name? The merchant of death. Like, come on, bro. Like,
I think we just care more about celebrities. They care more about arms dealers and shit like that. But like people was like, so whoa, how did this happen? Like, bro, we trade Taliban people back. Like, I don't get we do this all the time. I think because he got this name of merchant of death and da like that. But we give
it ain't the same as a little old terrorist.
Bro, we gave when Trump did the deal with the Taliban and they released 5,000 Taliban members. Like, what are we talking about? 5,000. I think we're trying to I think he tried to do like a peace deal or something like that. But Afghanistan had to release 5,000 Taliban members, something like that.
That's hilarious. That's a lot of fucking people.
5,000.
I'm thinking one little terrorist. He ain't no leader or nothing, but 5,000, that's enough to get a whole shit back together.
Yeah, that's enough to get the boys back together. We back, and I know we are holding these 5,000 Taliban members there, but I just see people because I was interested in because I seen everybody was like shitting on this one, right? Obviously, Brittney Griner, basketball player, who gives a fuck about WNBA, yada yada yada, and then you got this whole story around this guy, the merchant of death, the most notorious arms dealer of all time, all these things about him, right? And then, like I said, Brittney Griner. So I was looking into it. I was like, what are the other ones that we've done? And I was looking at it a couple of years ago. There was a guy who, I guess he just stepped off the army base and the Taliban picked him up, and it's completely different. But then we swapped him for, I believe, 3 or 4 Taliban members. But you got to go get the military people. If, like, the military guy is, like, just stepping off the base for a second and he gets kidnapped, you got to figure out how to get him back. You can't just let him. I mean, he was there for 5 years with the Taliban, but you still got to figure out a way to get him back. So I didn't know how to attack. Like, I've been doing so much because I'm not people and like you hear merchant of death. I'm like, okay, that just might be tagline. Maybe I'm hyping this nigga up. I gotta see what y'all talking about. Right? I gotta see what this guy. I gotta see what this guy was really out here doing. Right. So from what I was able to collect, was he was a part of the Soviet military for 2 years. He was like a translator. He was very proficient in language. He knows multiple languages. Very smart guy. Then he went to, I believe, United Arab Emirates or maybe like Abu Dhabi or Middle East area somewhere and started doing the Russian planes. Like when the Soviet Union fell apart, he started getting the weapons and then he started transporting weapons to places in Africa and places in the Middle East. So the reason he got caught, from what I was able to recollect from everything that I read, the only reason they really got after him was because guns that he was providing to Africans, they started using against British soldiers, right?
Oh, it's always when the white people get affected.
Because like I said, y'all can always correct me if I'm wrong. I'm never, immune to being wrong. I just did all this research today, wrote it down about this guy because I really wanted to know. Because people just say shit like, "Oh, merchant debt." What does that mean? Like, was he really? How high profile is he? Is he really the biggest of all
Man,
time?
he was doing numbers.
So, what do you do? Middle East and African terror groups or African, overlords or whatever doing trades with them. Middle East terrorist groups giving stuff to them. He was one of the main contributors to the Liberian civil wars 1 and 2, where over 250,000 people were killed in that one. So he's pumping into them.
Only thing with that type of stuff, I feel like they were gonna do that anyways. Like
somebody's gonna supply it, whether it's him or not.
No, not even
supply.
Yeah, of course that, but that's definitely gonna happen. But I'm saying even more like that fighting. Maybe not the numbers would have died, but that civil war was inevitable type shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he is a bad dude for supplying it, but I mean, he not shooting them bitches.
Yeah. So, he's working on both sides. Like, hey, I'll give y'all guns, you get guns. Hey, now it's a fair fight. Y'all both got AKs. Have at it. Have a good time. I'm just here to collect the money. But the reason he got caught, from what I saw, was that they did a sting operation on him. I don't know if it was the CIA. I guess you would think it would be the CIA, right? Some type of intelligence agency would do this, where they were well, no, that wasn't even that. That was a real thing. So pretty much he was arrested for selling air missiles to Colombia in 20,000 AK-47s to the Revolutionary Force of Colombia because they wanted to shoot down American choppers, kill Americans. I mean, that were coming on there trying
to like 800 anti aircrafts or some shit. They said
air
ground
missiles.
Air, yeah. But how I was listening to like Joe Rogan talk about it today or something like that. They were saying it's like one anti-air missile like thing being gone and like missing, or like your enemy has it, is like you're like on a high alert, nigga. 800. When they put it to that perspective, I'm like, yeah, that's nothing to sleep on.
Yeah, because you gotta think about this is, I believe this was Colombia, like what? This is Colombia during like the drug times, something like that. Like the money was, it was there. I saw a thing about Pablo Escobar. It was this little TikTok graph was just showing who are the wealthiest drug lords of all time. And like, you think of these guys like El Chapo, he had 5 billion. This guy, this like Asian triad shit, they had like 10 billion. They put El Chapo on the board, not El Chapo, they put Pablo Escobar on the board. He had like $70 billion worth of like, and that was like cash. That wasn't even like fucking, his net worth and his business is worth. No, like $70 billion in like cash. So, I mean, I get it. He's a guy who did a lot of shit while he was out. They claim Russia really wanted him back, not because he's just Russian. They say he may be like Russian intelligence or something like that. So that's really why they wanted this guy back rather than anybody else that was probably offered. And he's just the biggest name.
The biggest thing for me, what I noticed would make America look weak, is how he said that they wouldn't negotiate for the Marine, that they made the Marine and the circumstances around him way harder when they came to negotiate. Well, it ain't like you got a small piece that they like. If you gonna negotiate and get him back, I only see it really working with Brittney Griner unless they got somebody bigger than him. Like I just don't see that working. So it's like America come off a certain way when it was like we didn't give up on them. It's just Russia was just so rough, and it's like, bro, you realize who you giving up, right? Like this is like trading LeBron for like fucking Rafer Austin or some shit. Like when we talk about how much it can affect the Russian government, or maybe even this war, if you want to talk about that, versus Brittney Griner not gonna have anything to do with fucking politics, like, or anything like. So it just, when they said that, it was like, and y'all still came off of him. Like,
yeah, they said it was just pretty much Russia was like no deal on like, y'all keep trying to throw in Wheeling, it's 1 for 1. That's it. One, y'all get this high profile shit going on in your country, y'all get her back, and then we get our guy.
Negotiating skills though. Didn't Jake say he was the Russian intelligence?
They've been talking. No. It's assumed that he's Russian intelligence. They don't really know if he is or not. But it's like in the papers that I was reading, it's like it's assumed that he may be Russian intelligence or some shit like that. I mean, optically, I guess for the United States it does look bad, right? Because I look at it as I would never go to none of these countries. Like I wouldn't go travel to Russia. I don't got time for, he tried to do this, or he did try to arrest me and use me as some type of fucking leverage, because I'm saying if you ain't a celebrity, you ain't prime fucking, selection. You're not like,
they're not gonna do you like Brittney. They probably send you back more than anything, though.
What do you mean? They got Americans locked up right now. We just got a guy earlier this year I was reading about. His name was what's his name? His name was Trevor Reed. they swapped him in, I believe, April. He got 9 year sentence in Russia for what they say life-threatening actions towards a police officer. They gave him 9 years in prison. And we swapped him for a drug smuggler who was smuggling $100 million worth of cocaine to America. So we gave them that guy, and we got he was former Army, Navy, military, former something.
To go with your point, yeah, I wouldn't go to anywhere we beefing with for sure. But I'm thinking just like regular, like, you know, like other countries. Like, yeah, if you
I go to Britain or like France or, you know, Switzerland, but I'm not going to like Russia, Iran, China, you know, any place. I'm not going to those places.
What about Dubai or something? Would you go there?
Dubai, I think Dubai, they keep it covered. They strict, but I don't do any of the shit that they probably get mad about. But as far as like, because I'm just thinking of somebody just like planting something on me, because Russia can lie. I'm like, oh, we found drugs on him. They can lie and just lock my ass up, and like, what the fuck I'm gonna really do about it? They don't care. So Dubai, I feel like they're more like, we're kind of trying to turn to like a touristy place. Just don't, you know, fornicate openly. Don't do all that type of shit here, and you'll be good. And you know, I'll be good. But I think Putin did it for a reason, right? I think he knew that if I let you take the basketball player, not even that, but if I let you take the basketball player, right, and I give you the ultimatum, it's basketball player and boot, and that's it, that's only swap, and you have to leave the military guy behind, it just causes more of a thing over here, right? Now the right-wing people, oh, the military guy, or not even right-wing people, just people who like about the military shit. Oh, they couldn't get the military, but they got this guy. Because think about it, if they got Griner and this guy, it would have just been like a celebration. They're like, oh, great, we got these people back. It's a good thing. But now it's like, we got somebody back home, but it's still like, fuck that bitch. Where's, you know, it's like a divisive thing. And
how could we make this trade?
How can we make it toxic for the United States? And that's essentially what it do. Because when you look at the Wheeling guy, I don't know, like these things I'm about to list off, like things I've read about him, right? So like, yeah, he was a Marine. You know, he got dishonorably discharged in 2018 for larceny, trying to steal over $10,000, right? So like, it wasn't like he was like this military veteran who was fucking.
Well, they say he was a spy.
That's what I was getting to. So they charged him with espionage in Russia because their little security force team caught him with a hard drive that he said was given to him, and he thought it was holiday photos, but it was actually like classified information. So is he a real spy? Is he not? Was he set up? I don't really know.
Sound like some spy shit.
Something that else made me feel like he may be a spy is that he has 4 different, you know how probably hard it is to get like 2 citizenships, right? Like I'm a citizen of America and I'm a citizen of Russia or wherever. He's a citizen of 4 different countries. Canada, Irish, or Ireland, I guess where the Irish people are, Britain, and America. He got 4 different citizenships. Now I don't know if that's a common thing. But 4 citizenships is kind of like, that's a lot. That's kind of crazy.
No, four is pretty crazy. You got to.
That seemed like a spy, right? It seemed like a spy.
2 is like probably average because, you know,
yeah, you could be from somewhere and you immigrated, or like I seen Becky Hammond. She was on First Take and she used to go to Russia. You know, like all the best, like Brittney Griner. You going to Russia to play, so I guess she wasn't good enough to play for Team USA in the Olympics. So Russia offered her citizenship in Russia so she could play for the Russian team. So it's like trade-offs like that where you come here to work. Like, but 4, I've never heard of somebody having 4 different, you know, citizenships in 4 different countries. But regardless.
And then adding on to how he left, like there's some fishy shit. He burned some shit and stole some money. He's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he got charged with larceny over $10,000. Like, you know. But people just look at the Marine part. He was a Marine. It's like, bro, we got a lot of people who's been in the Army that do a lot of fucked up shit that we don't. You know, that just because they was in the Army at some point don't mean they're like these great people. Now, I'm not trying to shit on Paul Wheeler because Russia is known to, you know, hold a game, so they could be holding him. But a lot of those things, like the four different citizenships is like, are you a spy, motherfucker? Like a stupid top secret spy?
Yeah,
you a VP of this car place called Born Wagner. It sounds like some Russian shit or some German shit. I don't know, man. Like, you know, because I'm thinking about movie shit. You know when these guys, maybe they're great in the military, but they have like bad attitudes or whatever, and they get dishonorable discharge, and they get recruited to like this like black ops off-site type shit. Like
they do skills.
That. Yeah, I know. Like your skills can be used over here. So like we don't know. Maybe he did steal classified information from Russia, and then they arrested him and gave him 14 years.
It was a dude that was on Joe Rogan. It was just about to say, it was a dude on Joe Rogan talk about how he got recruited by like the CIA or something through like some off shit. It wasn't even like he was directly applying to them on some shit. But
yeah. And even like I seen Trump said some shit like, let me see what Trump said. I got to pull that up. Because, you know, he got a. I didn't think he was gonna hop in, but you got to hop in his 2 cents.
Well, why you looking it up? I also feel like an average Marine ain't just gonna be traveling to Russia. Like, average Marine ain't just traveling around the world after if it ain't with going with deploying and stuff like that. So,
well, he said he was going to a friend's wedding. That's what he said he was there for.
In Russia, like hell of a friend.
Maybe he met him in the military, man.
Hell of a friend, a Russian. You from America? You got a friend in another country? That's a hell of a friend. And you gonna go to their wedding?
All right, this is what Trump said. Trump said, "What kind of deal is it to swap Brittney Griner, a basketball player who openly hates our country?" And that's the thing too. I see a lot of that narrative of her hating the country. Like the only thing I can think of when people saying that is because she was like kneeling for like the police brutality thing. If an athlete being upset and speaking out about police brutality means they hate America, y'all got to get the priorities of America straight. If that's what constitutes hating America, you can hate that. Like you can hate that aspect of America. It's like that's a stupid fucking thing. Now maybe like I said, y'all can pull up some other shit where she said "fuck America," I hate it, like totality or whatever. But bro, you can openly criticize America for shit that they do. It's like it just doesn't make sense. That doesn't mean you hate it. I can criticize where I live. It's still like I want to be here. I don't want to be nowhere else. But hey, we should fix these things. But anyways, for the man known as the Merchant of Death, who is one of the biggest arms dealers anywhere in the world and responsible for tens of thousands of deaths and horrific injuries, why wasn't former Marine Paul Whelan included in this totally one-sided transaction? He would have been let out for the asking. Like did y'all even try to ask? Trying to imply they didn't even try to ask. But they've been trying to package this deal, but it was only one-on-one, whatever. What a stupid and unpatriotic embarrassment for the USA. But here's the thing. Trump's national security advisor, John Bolton, said they had the opportunity to trade Whelan for a bout when Trump was president, and they said no. So, motherfucker, you could have already got Whelan out.
But in Trump eyes, he like, well, it's no deal. I'm not giving this heinous dude up for nobody. That's his eyes. So let alone Brittney fucking Griner.
But in the statement, he's saying, well, so the thing, okay, Whelan and Bout alone isn't, but like a famous person and Whelan, that's good enough. Because you still regardless, you bring back a basketball player and allegedly, from what we're reading, defamed Marine back for it. You're still giving up a guy who's like a merchant of death, regardless. Like just because you're getting a Marine back doesn't mean like you're not still giving up some like fucking warlord power player type person. Because Whelan isn't a warlord power player in the United States. So you're still giving up something really massive. But now if you're on that patriotic thing,
I mean, I'm about to say you don't really know that though. He could have been
if he's some CIA spy, that's different. They should definitely get him out. If I'm over here working for y'all motherfuckers, y'all gonna keep me over here. Y'all better move heaven and earth to get me up out of here. Well, my point is Trump could have got him out, and he didn't.
But I think it's okay that he criticized. I'm not gonna lie to you because from what he can say, it's like, well, I wouldn't have traded nobody for him. Like, so in his eyes, he criticizing. At least you could have was get both of them back. But nigga, you just gave him for Brittney. I think that's probably what he's saying. But regardless, we know he criticized it because he about to run against this dude. He don't really give a fuck.
Yeah,
like, that's the real reason he criticized it.
That's the only thing. That's it. So,
and it's the same for most people that have something to say on the opposite sides. Like either they don't fucking like Brittney Griner's a lesbian, or she took a knee, or she just a basketball player. It's like they want to make it seem like it's black and white. Like it's this arms dealer. He's the most evilest guy. He's damn near Hitler versus like she just dribbles. And I mean,
I don't give a fuck. Like all these people talking all that shit. Now, like I said, this is how people just, well, I would never be in that situation. Fuck all that. Just say you in that situation. If it's you over there, regular Joe fucking Blow, no military background, none of that shit, and you think you get this, like you're less than a gram of some THC shit. And I know you're in another country. You got to move how you got to move. Motherfucker, you wouldn't give a damn who they gave up to get you out. I wouldn't give a fuck who they gave away.
That's selfish.
That's life. We selfish. Self-preservation.
But that's what I'm saying.
If you was locked up, would you give a fuck if they gave away this guy? You like, no, keep him. No, don't give him away from me.
If I thought this nigga was Hitler, I'd probably check on it.
Hey, send that nigga back to Russia. As long as y'all ain't fucking with me, send me back.
That's some selfish ass shit. I ain't gonna lie to you,
bro. Most people are gonna say send me back.
Shit.
Most people,
it's like the shit in the movies.
Yeah,
it's the shit.
Take him.
It's the shit you see. Obviously, most people gonna be like, take me. Most people.
99% of people say swap me.
But that's not okay. So I'm gonna move. That's the way I'm gonna move.
My point is, I'm not gonna shit on it when if it was me, I would want you to make that trade as well. That's my point.
Yeah, but everybody not in her shoes, and most people not gonna take the leap to be like, I would have took some shit over there.
Hey,
like you said from the jump.
I'm speaking in hypothetical fucking world. Because I know that people. Well, I never go and bring a weed pen. I get that.
And she was dumb as hell for that shit. And
we can all agree with that. Why the fuck would she do that? She knows she's going to Russia.
You
she
can get
over there
just
for
as much
millions
time
of years.
in the Texas
all that type of shit.
I mean, in America for doing shit like that.
For having a
like
weed pen?
everywhere. Not Texas. I didn't even say Texas, but
I'm about to say
if it wasn't not anymore, but before it was decriminalized, yeah, that shit was. You wouldn't get on 9 years.
He's a free wise there.
My thing is, I get why people criticize if you believe he's the most evil person, because you see this shit like in movies. They be like, should we save our son, or should we go back and save our person, or risk the whole? Like, what's more worth it? Saving this one person or saving the whole world? And it obviously the people that has like Wanda, she gonna pick choosing herself over the world, but most people would consider that extremely selfish when you got to understand that yes, you are affected personally, but if you let this person out, it's gonna be even millions of other people that's probably
okay. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. He's projected to get out. He's projected to get out in 2029. Would you rather just get out now? Or that's what I'm saying. He's gonna get out any fucking ways. It don't matter. He's gonna get life in prison. He don't have life in prison. He's gonna get out.
I thought he had life for some shit.
No, he's expected to get out in 2029. What you want me to wait in fucking prison for 7 more years? He's gonna get out any fucking ways. Just swap us out right now. Fuck, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy. I don't give a damn. Swap me out. Fuck it. He about to get out of prison anyways for nothing. Might as well swap me now.
And I do.
And maybe he does go back to his whole arms deal shit. I think he'd be an idiot. Like, eyes are already on you. They already said the intelligence agencies have already been in contact with Africa and people like, hey, this guy don't have your best intentions. Make sure y'all beware if he tries to start his whole little shit up again. I don't think they give a fuck, but that's what they say, and that they going around telling these people in Africa and the Middle East and wherever else he frequents, in Nicaragua and Colombia and wherever he frequents, right? So that's how. I mean, that's how. I mean, just Liberian Civil War, 250,000 people killed. That's a lot of people. But like you said, do you think that the arms dealing, like I wonder who's the biggest arms dealer now that just hasn't been caught? Because somebody had to replace him. People are still getting these weapons in all these places and these things. Like, I wonder who's the guy now. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if he's like, you know what? I already been to prison in America for 11 years now. I don't know. And also, we don't know what's gonna happen to him when he gets back to Russia. Maybe Russia don't like the fact that he was that he was this merchant fucking arms. Maybe he go back to prison when he get to Russia. I don't know what they do to him. But I guess why would you want to, but that doesn't make sense, because why would you want to swap out this guy for Brittney Griner just to put him in prison in y'all's thing? Yeah. I feel like y'all would really be holding out on getting him because y'all actually want him for something. And they are at a war with Ukraine, so maybe he's got old contacts like, hey, we're gonna, we need some air, like you said, what is that? What did I say? They gave them people air missiles and 20,000 AKs and all type of shit like that. So
I also feel that most people that got mad don't know history of, like you said, the people released before. Obviously, I didn't know about the 5,000, but we released the El Chapo, one of these supreme drug lords, for fucking Muggsy Bogues. So this wouldn't even be the first time.
We gotta get Muggsy out, man.
This wouldn't even be the first time we traded for a basketball player. But let's be real. The impact of El Chapo versus letting Muggsy Bogues go is fucking crazy. But if his life was on the line, if they was threatening to kill him, I could kind of understand that, because this is like, it's American life. We got to go get that. But not going to lie to you, all the fucking people that still going to die when El Chapo get back, it might be like, sorry, little Muggsy, 5'4", we'll bring a small box for you. I'm being real. Like, when you talk about the amount of drugs, the amount of people that he got killed, the amount of cops and corrupt politicians and shit that he ain't changed, like so much shit that El Chapo is responsible for. And we had him, and we was like, Muggsy.
I don't think we could have been on top. It had to be somebody else, right?
It could have. I think it might have been Pablo. It was one of the top dudes, bro.
Pablo. Let me see. I got. See, I never heard of it.
It was one of the top dudes, bro. I promise.
I don't see a Muggsy Bogues prison swap when I look this up,
bro. Unless I got hoaxed.
Yeah, you might have got hoaxed. I'm not seeing that nowhere about him getting swapped for a supreme drug lord.
Maybe it wasn't Muggsy Bogues then. Maybe it was another basketball player. But let me see.
Pull that up, Jamie. Shit. I'm just seeing Brittney. But yeah, I mean, prison swap should happen, right? So this is something interesting too that I saw just because you brought that up and it made me think about this. So a cartel hitman who decapitated his enemies named LaBarbie, very notorious cartel leader, hitman, for some reason is missing from our U.S. prison system. I don't know what that means because they say he was labeled in this one prison, but now his name is gone missing from it. Mexico's trying to figure out, like, hey, where the fuck is the LaBarbie guy at? Something's going on. I don't know if there's a swap going on with that, but something's going on there. Just something for y'all to look into. Just cartel hitman who decapitated enemies is gone missing from a U.S. prison. Just look into it.
What is that called?
LaBarbie.
When you trade a person.
Prison swap?
Like, just prison swap?
Yeah, prison swap.
But yeah, I heard about that too. Obviously,
which is crazy.
I think he probably got out.
Unless he got just transferred and they just haven't updated his name and where he ever got transferred to.
I mean, possibly, but I think Pablo Escobar. El Chapo was getting out a bunch of different times, bro.
And but he was getting out of Mexican prisons. He didn't get out of no U.S. prison. He fried now.
He never got out of a U.S. prison before?
No, those are all Mexican prisons he was escaping.
Okay, well, I misspoke then.
Yeah. Where they got Chapo now, he not getting out. I talked about it a million times. He's in where, like, if you think supervillain, he's where all the big supervillains are at. He's not getting out of there. But Brittney's free. People are mad. People are happy. She's probably fucking ecstatic. This is what happens, man. In Victor Bout, he's fucking happy as hell too. He's going back to Russia, and he's going back to do whatever the fuck.
You know who the most happy?
Who's the most happy?
Biden. Oh, I got them black guys in the.
I don't think it really changes how nobody feels. They're like, it feels like it was like
he's
inevitable.
Stupid.
I feel like it was inevitable. It's not like you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he should, if he really wanted like favor, he probably would have tried to do it before the midterms happened. But I think at this point, it's like, okay, she's free. That's good. Like, I don't think that. Now I'm gonna vote for him. Maybe they think that, but I don't think that overall,
Man, you seen him hugging that black lady in that damn office.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we got your wife back, man. Your wife coming home. They happy. It's a joyous occasion for them.
Man, that's the next photo out.
They did what they said they was gonna do. We said we're gonna get her out. We got her out.
I didn't lower taxes. Inflation skyrocketed. Corporations are still going crazy. We're still at war, but I got Brittney back. That's gonna be his whole campaign, right? I didn't pass any legislation that really affected anybody, but that Griner girl, she's a talent. You can even see how he gassed her up. He was like, "She's one of the most finest, incomparable, uncomparable Americans."
She is in the WNBA, ain't she?
I'm being funny, but he was really trying to gas it up. Like, nah, man, like she really was worth it. I'm being funny, but. Any American's worth it, but obviously I feel like he knew it was gonna be a little backlash from Americans, so he tried to she's an American, she won the Olympics for us.
So my thing is, okay, what type of person is worth being traded for this guy? Who do you have? Who is like, oh, this is the only military people that's like, oh, he fought in the military, bring him back.
Every American prisoner you got.
Oh, they gotta release you said they gotta release everybody.
That's how I trade. I would have typed out have been because we're giving up.
There's no leverage in that. They ain't gonna do that. I'm talking like a realistic.
Why not?
Who they're not gonna give away everybody for this one person because that's all leverage.
How many people they got though?
Probably they got the Wheeling guy. See another story. There's another guy who got 14 years for some drug shit there. Like they probably got quite a.
I know it's the first round draft picks. I give you another little Russian nigga.
They was trying to add it. They was trying to add in
some shit.
They was trying to add it's like when you on Madden. It's like, okay, hey, I'll trade you this person for your star player, and I also throw in like this motherfucker right here. Let's try to make the trade go through. But
my thing is like,
from what they say what they said, Russia was like 1-for-1. That's it. No, nobody. Oh, this person too. Then give us Wheeling. We'll give you these two. Y'all give us these two. No. 1-for-1. Her for him. That's it. And if y'all don't want to do that, she gonna take her 9 years in prison over here. And Victor Bout could get out in 2029, and we'll be good.
1-for-1, but it's only the one that they want. Like it couldn't have been no other Russian dude. It could have just been him.
No, they wanted him.
Yeah, bro. Biden weak ass. That's some bullshit ass negotiating. I'm not gonna lie to you. You folded, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. He folded, bro. If
I
that's
mean,
the
I think
if that's the
I think
stipulations,
Putin has the upper hand in that they
how?
because they want Brittney back probably more than they want this guy back. They probably want the guy back, but whoever's more desperate in the deal is going to give up the most. That's what I'm
So
saying.
in my eyes, I know Brittney Griner is a celebrity or whatever, but if there's other Americans over there, she's no fucking different. So what's the rush?
Because nobody else is talking about these other motherfuckers. We see this Brittney Griner shit going every day. That's what I'm saying. It's more pressure
so
on him
it's a public
to get her.
It's a public
It's more pressure on him to get her than anybody else. That's why I said Putin, I don't know what his relationship is with Victor about. He could like, hey, it's either you let him out now or he's gonna get out in fucking 7 years. Like, I don't really give a fuck. But y'all really want her out. So I have the upper hand. Whoever wants it more has the upper hand. And
really
obviously in this one, America, I'm saying Biden was like,
and pressure is a stretch.
What do you mean?
Nobody was like Brittney Griner. She trended every once in a while, but ain't no fucking politician was talking about get Brittney Griner out. And even you seen it in a response.
What do you mean what do you mean they was talking about it? What are you talking about?
On the mass, like there was pressure behind Biden getting her out of here.
Ain't this shit been in the news like every month? Like a little pop up every month? Like, oh, she got sentenced. Oh, this happened. Oh, now she's in a fucking thing. She's getting bashed by homophobia and this and that and da. Like, we mean they writing articles about the shit. They ain't talking about Wheeling. They ain't talking about the other nigga 14 years. Biden wanted a better PR thing. He wanted more than Putin want Victor Bout. So obviously we're gonna give up whatever we're gonna give up to get, because we're in this situation where they want it less than we do. That's why you get something like this.
And that's why they got done how they done. I ain't gonna lie to you. If y'all can't negotiate, there ain't no negotiating then. I'm gonna be real. Because I'm talking about from America's standpoint. Obviously, Brittney Griner want to get the fuck out. Ain't nobody gonna argue. I'm talking about from an American government stance. Like, this nigga is worth literally, maybe the Marine worth 3 people because y'all think he a spy. But this nigga at least worth 10, 15 people, bro. Like, let's not act stupid. Like, I don't get it. Maybe they like, oh, he gonna get out in 7 years. We ain't letting the nigga out at all. Like, I just don't see how our need to want to get Brittney out. That mean no other American gonna come out of Russia.
Yeah, we love celebrity.
It's goofy. That mean no other American coming out of Russia because the urgency and pressure is not there. I told you
this year in April they let Trevor Reed out. They swapping people out. But I think Paul Whelan is now Paul Whelan. Like I said, I don't know if he's a spy or not. Maybe that's why, like the Trevor Reed guy, he just got to a fight, I guess, with police officers. That's less thing. Maybe Russia really thinks he's a spy. So like, you got to do something extraordinary to get him out. And then now, his name is so like, I won't say it's so famous, but so like synonymous with this. Now it's even better for him. Like, now I got another chip that y'all really want. So I got the leverage again. Because Putin probably really don't give a fuck about any Russian that's really locked up here. Like, why would Putin give a fuck about the guy that was smuggling $100 million worth of cocaine, unless that's all going back to the Kremlin and it's all going back to Russia? Now, I don't know who he was flying for, but like, if it's just a Russian prisoner, he's like, I don't really give a fuck.
7 years gone by, he ain't missing it.
Yeah, he's already been in jail for 11 years. Like, whatever. 11. Like, who gives a fuck? He got arrested in like 2008. He got convicted in 2012. So 10 years at this point. So, well, no, I'm just looking at this one. I guess it's 3 people. So according to this article, it's Americans detained in Russia. Paul Whelan, 2 others are being held. So I guess only 3 people.
That's my thing. I didn't expect it to be like 20 or 30 when I said all the Americans, I was thinking less than 10. I wasn't thinking a whole 100 motherfuckers. So
I don't know why I thought it was like so many more.
No. I mean, because typically you get shipped out. I know Russia and America going through their shit, but typically they deport you. But outside of that, I'm like, bro, you can't tell me that dude and maybe one other Russian is not worth every American. Because why have to keep going through this process of negotiation? Let's get this shit done with. Let's get all our American backs in one clean sweep. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this negotiation lasted 8-9 months. The other negotiation, how long is going? This nigga the other dude been in jail for 4 years.
4 years.
Like,
4 years.
How long that negotiation gonna drag out, and how much time they gave him?
16.
Come on, bro. Like, so that's the thing. It's like, bro, America should have put more pressure, threw some money in there or something. These niggas been giving out. I'm just being real. Niggas been
got to do a cash option. You got to do cash.
Little cash.
What league does? Isn't there a league that like we're gonna give you this player and like $1.2 million in cash?
All leagues do
everybody
it.
does that? Okay.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, all leagues do that. But yeah, a little cash incentives for something like that's all I'm saying. Like if Biden really wanted to just get this out the way, I think you get all of them back. And
So
I
let's see.
mean,
Let's see what other people did.
backlash
Oh, my bad. What'd you say?
wise, I think it would have been a lot cleaner if you got everybody back.
So Sarah Krivenek, right? Krivenek is a 46-year-old who moved to Russia from Fresno, California 5 years ago to teach at a Russian private school. Last year, Krivenek was involved in a domestic abuse situation with her boyfriend and allegedly grabbed a knife to defend herself, nicking him slightly. Krivenek was arrested by Russian authorities and detained for roughly a year, despite her boyfriend retracting the charges. She was released last month, but detained again at a Moscow airport when she tried to leave the country, according to People magazine. Krivenek is not incarcerated, but is also not authorized to return home. She's waiting in a holding facility while she figures out how to leave Russia. Krivenek's friend is raising money to her release on GoFundMe. The State Department told people that requests to talk to Krivenek have been repeatedly denied or delayed by Russia. So they can't even speak to this woman, whoever she is. She's fried. And she ain't even in jail. They're just holding her and saying, motherfucker, you can't leave here.
That's weird.
And then the other guy is Mark Vogel. Vogel is a history teacher from Pittsburgh who taught the children of U.S. diplomats abroad. Was detained in Moscow in August 2021. He had with him a small amount of medical marijuana he used for his chronic back pain. In June, Vogel, who's 61, was sentenced to 14 years at a labor camp. The federal government was not designated Vogel as wrongfully detained. Oh, they haven't designated him as wrongfully detained. Rep. Guy Ruthin something from Pennsylvania, a Republican, introduced a resolution last month to inquire into why Vogel has not been designated a wrongful detainee. So I guess America hasn't even labeled that guy like, oh, you fucked up. You're there. You did that. But like, so Brittney Griner with the weed pen is a unlawful detainee, but this guy with a little weed for his back pain, he's not. It's
So they're not even
celebrity
for him.
They're not even doing shit for him. Mark Vogel's fried. He's 61. He gonna be dead by the time he get out of there. Ain't in a labor camp. He fried. That's what I said. You gotta be a fucking celebrity. You gotta be famous.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about this. You see how Donald Trump, you see when ASAP Rocky got in trouble for fighting in Sweden? He got locked up and Donald Trump was doing all that shit. I remember listening to Andrew Schultz and they podcast when they homeboy got locked up. Ain't nobody trying to get his ass out. He was in there for like 2-3 months. The black guy that be Andrew Schultz is like producer or whatever. He was locked up for 2-3 months. Same type of shit, fighting with security guards. You gotta be famous. That's all. If you gonna go travel somewhere and possibly get into some shit, maybe on accident, maybe by not your own wrongdoing. If you're not famous, you kind of fried to some point. Or if you ain't military.
What the American embassies be doing? They're not. I thought American embassies was in every country.
They might be. I think they might be.
Mike, I thought that was their job. Like if at least in every fucking, like I went to a foreign place and about to get kidnapped. Like that's the goal. Get to the embassy. Like get away from these kidnappers. Get to the embassy, and these niggas gonna shoot them while they trying to catch you on some dumb
or
shit.
Or at least just be like, hey, he's an American. Like I get he broke your law. We'll even just send his ass to jail over here, but we ain't gonna let motherfuckers stay over here if he really did some shit. Like he really fucked up. But like, a little bit of weed, I get it, it's legal over there. But come on.
I feel like the embassy job is to have good enough relations, whatever that takes, with whatever country to be able to do that. Like, hey, all right,
I mean, that probably worked, but like I said, we are kind of us in Russia. We're hostile, so that's a little different than like getting arrested in Britain or getting arrested in France. And
that's the embassy job. That's the embassy job. Like, yeah, you're American, but at the end of the day, you operate out of Russia, and you got to make sure, unless you pulling the people out, because from what I know, you got to U.S. embassies stay in countries during war times. Like, I remember it's been times where they had to get the people out of the embassy because some shit, a riot had happened too close to home. And I don't know if the war had already started and stuff like that, but I know for a fact that, like they will clear out an embassy, but I don't know at what rate because we're not technically at war with Russia. So even though it may be tense, the embassy job is to essentially keep the peace or keep the peace in the sense of what of the Americans that live in Russia, because that's really what they're there for in a sense. And I mean, a little bit of the politics, but it's more about protecting the American people that's there more than, what's anything to go on with Russia. And it's like, hey, if we got to pay you millions of dollars, if we got to every year or some shit like that, whatever that embassy got to do, I feel like you do. because I mean, you in their territory, you want to build some type of rapport and connection to where your people that come to that country is safe, unless you're gonna have a no-fly zone or some shit like that. But I mean, what does America say?
I guess that would work for everybody though. Like because Russia, who the fuck is hot girls? Hot girls. Okay, I gotta ban you. What the fuck's going on? Anyways, that'd be like saying, oh, anybody who comes over here and commits a crime, people have embassies here, so they gotta send everybody back who committed a crime here as well.
I mean, it depends on the crime, but a lot of times we deport people. Most Hispanic people get deported back, if I'm not mistaken, if they do a crime. But like if you do a murder and shit like that, now you're gonna serve time here, just like they sent the girl back to Mexico.
Yeah.
Now, after that trial and all that, maybe they can get back deported. But if you're doing murders and shit like that, I don't know what you're expecting. But like if it's some things where it's like politically, or we're not that lenient, we're not that strict on that out there where we're at, but y'all are here, so we could see how our citizens were lazy or got lax, then we're gonna make up for that as the embassy. Like, yeah, they fucked up, but obviously they're American, so they don't live by y'all rules. So let's like be real, like it's almost like getting a ticket in California and you from Texas. It's like, and they see your license from Texas, they just being an ass because it's like, bro, they at the end
I'll
of the
just
day,
never come to California again.
Exactly. So it's like, well, with the I guess charging them and stuff like that, it's like it's stupid because like they not really your citizen, bro. So even like trying to like punish them and stuff, it just seems like excessive to me because they're not your citizen. Now, if it's a teacher and stuff like that, maybe they get suspended from school or something like that. But like detaining them, bro, they fucking American. They move different. And at some point, I feel like you treat them like a tourist. Like, yeah, they're not gonna like know all of our rules. It's like that's the thing, bro. It's like it's unfair. It's like, so say I jaywalk over there, which we do over here all the time, and they like fucking serious. So say I turn her on the wrong street because like I'm used to right hand fucking driving. They drive on the left. It's like I gotta know all y'all rules when I come out here, and if I don't, I can really get in trouble like this. Like, cause nigga. Even for America, if I do a domestic violence, it ain't getting 9 years, even if I was guilty.
Yeah.
Like, and this is supposed to be self-defense. So it's like, yeah, obviously, bro, it would be unfair to someone that's not from your country to think they're gonna live up to all of your laws, and you should be able to punish them like your citizens that grew up with them laws, knowing that and seeing people be punished. It just don't hit the same. Like somebody smuggling weed and trying to sell it, obviously you can get them. Because they're trying to affect,
So what do you think about everybody's thing? Like, oh, y'all do all that to get Brittney over here free from there. Y'all need to start freeing people who got weed crimes over here.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to be. I mean, that was an argument before, but it's hard to say that that it's not logical. Like,
because y'all get like if you would go with the thing of y'all giving away 250,000 people dead in Liberia. They was giving anti-defense missiles to people in Colombia to shoot down American helicopters and kill American citizens. He doing people play terrorist groups that was fighting against each other. He giving them guns. He give everybody guns. Like, hey, y'all gonna do all that? Y'all fighting that hard for it? Hey, I got a little, some, even if it's not even a little, I got 10 pounds of weed. Like, and no other violent shit with it. Like, y'all gotta let me go.
America a joke, bro. Considering that weed is still illegal when you think about it, and people are still in jail for it. That's a joke.
Biden is a big time arms dealer as well now because shit. When we flew out of Afghanistan, what was the thing? He left hella super choppers, hella tanks. Now, like I said, he's selling, but shit, he just left all that shit over there. Prime time army artillery.
That's how they get that's how they become illegal because they wasn't technically theirs, and now they taking the American product or taking stuff that was left over from a war, removing like the serial codes and selling that shit to somebody else. But that's the shit that happened when you said the Soviets. The Soviets got dismantled. They had a bunch of bases that's left over. People got access to these bases and was selling these hoes and shipping them. Like that was obviously he had a movie created after him with Nicolas Cage, but then there's another one with War Dogs with the dude from Wolf of Wall Street, the fat boy. Was he in?
I would say Nick Jonas. What's that dude? I know you're talking about. He was in
Wolf of Wall Street. Express?
He's in the new movie with Eddie Murphy and Nia Long. He's like the boyfriend.
Yeah, the boyfriend.
I don't remember what his name is. I forgot. Seth Rogen. No, that's Seth Rogen. I know you're talking about though. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. But
he was
had
in
one.
not Pineapple Express. He was in the McLovin. What was that shit called?
Oh shit, not pineapple. Fuck,
I don't
bro.
remember.
We're
I just
getting
know
old.
McLovin. I just know McLovin. I don't even
It
know what
was
the
a
fuck the shit called.
classic. It was a
Yeah,
classic, but I cannot think of that shit.
bro. I gotta look it up. McLovin movie. It's called Superbad. Superbad.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even thought of
Jonah
that.
Hill. That's his name. Jonah Hill. Okay,
Jonah
continue.
Hill. So yeah,
Continue.
the movie with him and Jonah Hill, that's basically how they got most of their product is by finding old wars where shit was left over. So Biden doing that, I mean, let's be real, he knew the consequences of that because obviously that's been done for centuries. Like this ain't been something common with machine guns. Like before machine guns, nigga, I'm sure they were doing it with swords. Like nigga, armory get taken over, we taking all them spears, we taking all them shields, and we're gonna either reshape them into our shit or whatever. But we're gonna use this metal. But even beyond that, America has done that before and seen the consequences. So it ain't even that we be like, oh, other countries that did it, but we never did it. We did that shit with Iraq and Saddam Hussein and them, the first initial run of the terrorists in Iraq and how they got so much war power.
Yeah, I
and
think we
things
was
like
helping
that.
them. I think we was helping them against the Soviets. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, so it wasn't necessarily that we left it, I guess, but
No, we was
it
like
was.
providing it to them
Yeah.
I believe it was the Soviets. I could be wrong, but it was somebody they was at war with.
Yeah,
We had
that's what it
interest. We
was.
had
That's
interest
what
in
it
that
was.
working
That's
out
what
for
it
that
was.
side.
Yeah.
That's when you hear people like they trained them. Like I guess technically, but it was for other purposes, and then they just so happen to be like, okay,
But
fuck them. Now fuck y'all. So
I
it's
mean,
like,
America knew that was gonna happen though.
I mean, possibly, I guess, yeah, maybe.
But they know that they're gonna hire somebody that's gonna cause chaos, and then once the chaos start, they can come in and kill the evil dictator. But it's not the dude that was significantly in power that had all the connections that had shit running. So once everything in chaos, once they in civil war, then we come in and flank them.
So let me just show this real quick. So they claim, like I just said about Biden and them leaving a bunch of shit in Afghanistan, they claim, the Pentagon claims that these things don't work, right? So I just want to show you what we left behind for the Taliban. Let's see. So we left 43 of these type of helicopters, 33 of these type of planes, 33 Black Hawk helicopters.
That's billions of dollars.
27 billion. 23 of these light attack planes, 32 helicopters, and 3 big ass cargo planes. And
that's all that was left?
No, there was other shit like tanks.
Okay.
I was like 27 Humvees were left there. MRAP quote 500,000. I don't know what the MRAP is. 70 mine resistant ambush protected vehicles. So I guess them super like tanked out type vehicles, 70 of those. A bunch of a bunch of shit. So
I mean, the helicopters, they probably didn't work, but then again, probably nobody can fly them out there either. So
fuck it, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, they probably figure it out, or they may just, scrap everything and still make some money.
They probably just sell it. Fuck it, selling is some money. They
Yeah.
can sell it to whoever the hell they want to sell it to at that point, because America ain't about to go back in there and get it, so it's done.
Sell it to Russia.
That's
gonna come fix it.
What I got 9-year sentence, Victor Bout, Liberia. They was cool. That was like because they said he was operating from like 1980s or whatever. What said from what I read, like around 2000, when African people started shooting at British people, that's when they were like, oh, hold on, we got to stop this. But all that other Africa killing each other, Middle East killing, like it wasn't really on the radar. But then it got on the radar when a couple of British people started getting shot at.
You got them power enough.
They're like, how the hell they get these guns? They said, oh, we got to figure this out.
It was like, nah, they can't have enough power to stop our reign. They can have enough guns to kill each other, but all right, nigga, you're doing too much. The hypocrisies of this world just be so funny, man. So fun. I cannot get into this topic that I had on the board for 3 weeks. I forgot. And the reason I'm bringing it back up is because of how this fucking, I think the reporter came at Kyrie again about some new shit. I think it was Kyrie.
Well, no, he was, it was a Trae Young.
Trae Young, that's who it was. What was it about again with Trae Young?
There was something happened with him and his coach. They got, I guess, in some kind of disagreement. He didn't play or he didn't travel. Something like
just he kept grilling
shit, right? Just
thank you.
Shit.
He reminded me. He kept grilling them, and it was basically some personal stuff that go in the locker room that don't need to get out, because if it get out, this is gonna be just like the shit with Jordan Poole and everything else. It can fuck up chemistry, it can fuck up so much shit. So he kept reiterating that it's personal, it's private, but the nigga would not leave it alone as the reporter. And the reason I'm getting into this is like people will set up people will ask certain questions and then act all fucking appalled. Like, nigga, you wasn't like poking the bear essentially. So when I put Adam 22 in this is because the 2 times I seen him do that, when a dude got spit on and when a dude got beat up in this shit, and he like acting his ass off. But it's like, as a media dude, you know, if 2 people don't like each other, it's gonna be some shit that's gonna go on. Or you got 2 dudes that's argumentative, that's like hood though. Like, he be knowing the type of like people he put in the room on some Jerry Springer shit. He gonna get people. It might be some emotional people, and he can just act like the white boy that this is not
oblivious. How does this go on? How did this happen? Like, bro, if you watch that little Kelpie shit with the Almighty Suspect, they was already beefing when it was Sharp, who's like, I guess all these pimps, they all pimps, right? So Sharp, then that Almighty guy and Kelpie, they did their own interview, just them 3. And it was contentious then. Like, you got the beef then, and you gonna bring them back? But what? You got to know at some point something's gonna happen. And media like to poke, and this shit blow up. They oblivious. How did it happen? Like, what do you mean? How did it happen?
You said it with Kanye when he did that shit. Just look, they be knowing, they be picking at you. They'll like try to put you in a box.
And then, I forgot. And then when it happens, usually the attitude, he know what the fuck do. He never seen a fight happen. He about to run off. Until he probably like, oh, this looks bad if I run off. I need to break this up. I run the show. I own the fucking show. Why am I doing this? And even when the other guy got spit on, who we probably gonna be doing that little end of the year thing with Wardu, the Poetic Flacco guy who got spit on, they was talking shit to each other online. The Poetic Flacco was talking shit about the 16 shot him guy leading up.
I think he spit on him.
No, he got spit on.
No, Flacco spit on the other person.
Well, he got spit on first, and Flacco,
I didn't know that.
That looked like a little, like he tried to spit, but he couldn't get the spit out. But that guy actually, he spit on him. I didn't even know that. He spit on him. Yeah, the 16 shot him.
And then Adam 22 was like, I'm so disappointed in Flacco. Nigga, he spit on me. I didn't know. See, even then, he gaslighting. I thought Flacco just like, got mad, spit on him. And
he was just talking shit. He was like, you're a clout chaser. You're this, you're that. And the 16, and then I think he called him something. I don't think he called him a bitch. He called him. There was something he called him. He told him. He said, "Suck my dick." That's what happened. He told him, "Suck my dick," and then oh fuck, suck my dick. That's what they got. Heated and got to that type of thing. But they know media. The point is, media knows because that's a bigger story. The story isn't that little interview with 60 shot him and Poetic Flacco wouldn't have been big if he didn't get spit on. That little Kelpie shit, who gives a fuck? Who's fucking little Kelpie? He's a little white boy, 19-year-old pimp who had these 2 little white girls that he prostitutes around LA. Oh, big fuck. Oh, that's a great story. That's a great, like, wow, I need to talk to this guy. Like, who gives a fuck? Yeah. And pretty much what I see Adam 22 at this point do is like, he's taking like, I don't know, this YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly. Like, he'll take people from that channel, which this guy interviews heroin addicts, crackheads, incest people, like, just all these type
like
of
the dude that do the homeless people or no?
The Soft White Underbelly guy. Like, he interviews these people, they get a little pop, get a little buzz. Adam's like, well, shit, I'll interview him. That's how he got the Sharp guy. Because Sharp initially was on Soft White Underbelly talking about his pimp stories, and he got him. And this Kelpie guy was on there, a little white boy, 19-year-old, funny looking guy.
Was a rapper.
With these 2, he's supposed to be a pimp with these 2 white girls. I watched the Soft White Underbelly interview, and he's like, oh, fuck it, get him too. Like, the thing, like, run your platform. His platform's doing great. He got shows that are doing good. But I always look at that platform like what that platform could have been. Because now it's just like you interviewing a bunch of like, who the fuck is this random motherfucker here? Who the fuck is like, I was like, this guy could have potentially been up like some Joe Rogan type shit, but it's like he just let it disintegrate. As far as interviews, disintegrate into like any cesspool of the internet.
I know you're not a big fan of Vlad. You consider him under Vlad or at that level?
Vlad has better people, I feel like.
But
Vlad isn't. I think Vlad's above him as far as interviewing.
Did you feel like he was making it up there?
I thought he could have got there, especially when he was like getting. And granted, he was getting all the underground people before they blew up. So like he was getting the X interviews, the Ski Mask, some guy, the little like. Regardless, if you think of these people now, at the time, those were considered big interviews. But now you can look at him too. Like, when's the last time? Because I remember they was talking about today on this thing I was watching. The Lush guy was like, "What's your premiere interview? Like, what's your big time interview?" He said, "Oh, J. Cole," but J. Cole wasn't in the interview. J. Cole just randomly went to their shop and they were just talking like at the shop, wasn't like at the podcast table. Young Thug, he just filmed him talking to Young Thug backstage. Like, Gilly and Wallow are getting the baby, 21 Savage, this person, that, even academics. regardless if you think academics has great, interview skills or whatever, he's getting Bobby Shmurda,
they more respected.
All these type of people. And maybe Vlad, I mean not Vlad, what's his name? Adam 22, he'll get like a Roddy Rebel. He could probably get a Bobby Shmurda, but like fuck talking about academics. But $1 million worth of game, they get these big artists. Like they get these Drink Champs gets these like big artists.
Huge artists. They got fucking Patti LaBelle.
And like Adam 22's platform, I mean Adam 22 platform probably doesn't lend to Patti LaBelle, but you got 5 million. They do like OG shit, so she's like an OG. But my point is like you have like 4 million something subscribers. You can't pull your weight to get like higher profile interviews. Like even the Breakfast Club,
the Breakfast Club, blackball.
I mean, that could be it.
Like by not even by on an industry, like by the rappers, because they were saying a lot of rappers stopped fucking with the Twitch dudes because they were doing gay shit. Like they like.
But Adam do be doing gay shit. What he do gay shit?
Aiden.
No, I'm saying, but do Adam? But you say blackball by the rappers. But do Adam
so
doing gay shit?
My thing is him. I feel like he almost like on the Vlad. Like a lot of rappers stop fucking with Vlad on certain levels, but he'll still get some high caliber people. I think Adam 22, he don't have that same clout alone when he lost all that respect. And I think a lot of people consider him like, you don't really got to touch him. Like it's like a clout dude. Like I feel like it's like a no respect type of blackballing more than like he actually did something. Yeah. Like obviously his actions over time has did something, but it wasn't like one significant thing I think he's done. But I think it is like that. And we see it with Vlad. A lot of rappers like, man, I ain't fucking with Vlad, he be snitching. And they put that kind of label on him not to go. But his platform so big, people still gonna go.
And the thing about Vlad too is like, Adam's like when I think about Adam 22 as an interviewer, like I don't even think he's a bad interviewer, but I'm just saying like, also his content doesn't like, maybe it's not as visible to me. It don't go viral, right? The shit that go viral is like the bullshit, right? Like the spitting on you and the fighting and whatever. Like he interviewed Metro Boomin. I don't know a clip from that interview that was like highly talked about, like any type of insightful, crazy type of story that I've seen. Yeah. When I look at $1 million worth of game, they have clips that go viral with these people they interview. Drink Champs, shit goes viral. Breakfast Club, shit goes viral. Vlad shit goes viral, right? It's like I don't think anything comes out of there that's like so worthy of like being talked about. And so like, oh my God, this is like the greatest interview I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think I know Rich Homie did a few interviews. He did one with the barbershop. He did one with Act. I don't remember if it was Act or the one with the barbershop, but obviously he been fucking in the shadows.
Even at the barbershop motherfuckers, they don't even. I mean, they interview a lot of high profile people. They had 21, they had the baby.
And they should always viral.
They should always go viral. Everything. The shit that happened. Speaking of that, Styles P tried to shit on 21 Savage. Fuck him. You see that one? He's not a lyricist. He should have spoke on Nas. Nas is a 3-point shooter. You ain't see that?
I'm trying to figure out who the fuck Styles P is.
Styles P from the Locks. From the Locks. He from the Locks.
Okay. All right, cool.
Let me see if I can find it. I want you to listen to a little bit of it. He's not a 3-point shooter. Drake should have told him, this ain't a conversation for you. And no disrespect, I like 21. I like him. Some of his things, some of his bars, they tickle me pink.
That's hilarious.
But he shouldn't speak on. Bro, who
I was gonna say this. My last thing with Adam 22. You see it with the NFL, NBA, MLB. If they really don't like something, they won't even show it. For example, when fans go onto the field and stuff like that, they won't show it. They won't. They ban it. They block it so it don't encourage other people to try to get that minute in spotlight or that minute of fan that you get for doing that. So no different. If you really had integrity, if you really cared, even though you know that shit was gonna get views, even though you know it was gonna go like viral,
yeah.
If you really had integrity, if you really cared about like, oh, I'm not posting this shit really is effective, or I mean not effective, but it's really like harmful to the youth and things like that. We shouldn't show violence. You wouldn't even have posted it. Yeah. So that's just to show the fakeness in him, like. Oh, I'm an actor, Paul, but I'm gonna love these fucking views. Like,
yeah, she got millions of views. That shit gave me a strike on my damn channel when I was reacting that shit.
Man, that shit crazy.
Cause I seen the fight on Twitter, and I thought he posted on YouTube. I thought he posted the fight on YouTube. I was like, why is this shit still up? So I went to go watch it after I got a strike. And I was like, oh, he blurred the whole shit out. I even know shit. I'm fucking just watching. I'm like, there's got to be shit on YouTube that's worse than this. That like, but
fighting, especially fighting shit.
They clipped my ass. Gave me a little damn
YouTube used to be I used to go to watch YouTube fights on the daily, like YouTube knockouts and shit like that. That was the word. That's where World Star came from. You'll find little fights and hood fights. You look up black hood fights and look for the new updates on YouTube. Like, and then got World Star.
I ain't mean it like that. No, but everybody knows like just like this. Like, right? It was out of pocket. Fuck all that. Yeah, it was out of pocket. Cameras, money, and all of that change shit around. Right. Like, and it gives you a point of where you say, I could feel like I could say something I can't say. Right. Or maybe I shouldn't say. Or clean it. Fix it. Physically, and in general, and in the population physically, when you're walking in a room, I gotta take owner of that shit if I say it to you. Right. Yeah. That's true. I can't come in this room and say, I'm not gonna say a certain thing about you, and you be like, what the fuck you say, my nigga? Right. Like, what do you mean by that? Right. What do you mean, Ghost? Like, what are you exactly saying, my nigga? Right. If you're gonna open your mouth and say something, stand on it. You gotta stand on that.
Now, what the part where he telling them some shit?
For you opening your mouth and saying something.
See, they didn't even play the damn clip part that I'm fucking talking about. They fucked that up. They didn't even play the damn clip I'm trying to look for.
I thought I had heard a little context of what he was saying. But or maybe I got a little message of my own from just hearing the OG speak about it. It's like I do get the like. I don't even care if it's facts. Like we not speaking on that because this person is like protected. Like when they talk about NBA players, like a lot of these analysts, they ain't fucking watch Bill Russell play. They act like they know the game. These niggas be watching stats. They be watching modern basketball when they grew up. But they gonna, out of respect, always put Oscar, always put Bill, always, well, Kareem probably deserve it. But
yeah,
they're gonna always put them people in that because it's like, I don't care how great these new dudes are, you wouldn't be here without these people. So yeah, you might be the number one, but they gonna always be in the conversation, and we not gonna ever like. Even if you want, they play with plumbers and shit, people going like, nah, we ain't having that, bro. We not having that. I remember, I think JJ Reddick said it. A bunch of people responded to him like, no, all he did was play against plumbers. Like, bro, nah, we ain't having it.
I think Jerry West was like, you the plumber. He said some shit like that. He said something about him.
Yeah, Jerry West said, you the plumber. And it's facts. Like, we being real from a Jerry West perspective. You the plumber. Like,
you don't think JJ Reddick could have killed in the 1970s?
From the 3-point line, yeah, but I mean, shit, I'm not gonna be real with you. He wasn't no Oscar Robertson. He wasn't I don't think he was no Jerry West. Like, if you look at what Jerry could do on film, handle and do all that shit, JJ, you got to rock a lot of the times. Like, go ahead, show me an in out, show me a tween, show me. Like, he don't be doing it. So it's like you got all the opportunity to show skills outside of just being a shooter. Put the ball in the court, and I think he do have more skills than that, but we've never seen it. Versus Jerry West is fucking carry teams. Like, he was literally he's the logo, my guy. Like, yeah, when we talk about the plumber, bro, like, yeah, you're the plumber, bro. But I feel like with rap is like, in order to have respect, in order to have an actual culture, you gotta have an oligarchy of people that's just untouchable and respected, because that'll be the standard for other people to like live in. But like, say if you can get to say, oh, you're fucking FNF or whatever the fuck nigga free is more relevant, Gorilla's more relevant than Nas, it's like, well, is now she the standard? Like, I feel like it can cause some confusion versus like you don't ever put him in that conversation, because obviously Nas is a legend and everybody's under him in a sense. It's like, I feel like that brings more structure, it brings more respect.
But I think relevant doesn't mean like relevant doesn't have nothing to do with skill. Like, relevant is just who's relevant. Like 6ix9ine was more relevant than Drake at one point, but on the internet. But that doesn't mean like 6ix9ine was better than Drake. He's just like, he's everywhere. He was more. Let's never say he's not more relevant than Drake. He was more relevant than 99% of any rapper you could even name when 6ix9ine was going crazy. That don't mean he's better than anybody. He's just more relevant.
That's the thing. I don't think when it comes to rap and hip hop, I think they want a clear clarification. He was more bigger because of antics, not because of his music. Like, yes, his music was good, but let's be real. That was a part of it. It was a part of it. He did have some decent like sounds and shit like that, but let's be real. And most of it was the antics, the color, the wildness. It just was that nigga was wild and it was unseen before in rap. So when it comes to like rap relevance, I feel like they feel that those two people can never be in the conversation just because of Nas' lyrics live forever. Nas' legacy lives forever. And his impact in hip-hop lives forever. So to say more relevant, it's like, well, J. Cole is a product of Nas. Is Gorilla more relevant than J. Cole? Even is she even in the same category? Not even close. If we just saying like in the like what we respect in hip-hop. And I think,
but I don't know why I don't understand why that conversation has to be that deep. I think it's like in this moment right now, who's more relevant? Like that's not even got to be a deep fucking conversation. Like in 2022, is Glorilla more relevant in like 2022 than J. Cole? You can have an argument for that. Like this is her breakout year. I don't know how they got to get to so deep. Like, oh, but the talent. It's like, bro, like if you're more relevant than somebody, even Flying Low say to y'all, not to me. Like in the main, like of course, the year life, you may not think that Nas or 6ix9ine was ever more relevant than Nas. But like at that time, it's like it's kind of like a fact. Like, it's not even like it's not an opinion. It's like you talking about the grand scheme of music. It's like, yeah, you couldn't get away from this motherfucker.
No, you're not talking about the grand scheme of music. You're not talking about the grand scheme of music. You're talking about right now in hip hop and this micro, like in this small.
That's about in the grand scheme of right now. That's what I'm not talking about. Like,
that's
okay,
not, but
I guess
you talk about grand scheme.
When I say grand scheme, I'm talking about mainstream lore of right now. I don't see how I'm tripping. That doesn't make no sense to me.
I don't think you tripping.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't think you're tripping. But
that makes sense to me. Who's more relevant right now?
I don't think you tripping, but that's one perspective of when you hear that. When I hear it, I hear a bunch of different ways of what are you saying when you say relevant. And my thing is, when the fact that you can get multiple interpretations from that, obviously you got. I will go with your interpretation like right now, but let's be real. It can start feeling disrespectful to some people that feel like he shouldn't even be in a fucking conversation with this microwave rapper. And I respect Gorilla, but let's be real. If we're going to talk about somebody that probably not going to make it versus like, Nas, my nigga, don't even fucking put her a breath. And that, like, I get it. Because, like, that's like somebody like saying, oh, this nigga's the next up and coming Drake. I'm like, this nigga, like, what the fuck can you mean? Like, I would feel offended, even though that person may have talent, even though that person may have a big buzz, but you got to think, bro, hip hop in campus is a lot of different like demographics and different people. Backpack group, old heads, underground, mainstream, shit. The what's like the intellect niggas and shit like that. So in our world, obviously this conversation is relevant, but I think to a lot of other people, bro, they do not respect this type of music and rap. Yes, it's making money. Yes, it got hits. But when it comes to actually being respected in rap, FRN, I mean, fuck nigga free, not respected. And that's when they say it's irrelevant because, yeah, it may hit the radios, but how many other dance songs that we like, yeah, it's a great song, but we ain't fucking with, and it got numbers. Like, we know certain things can get numbers, but that don't mean it's going to be respected. It don't even mean that it's relevant.
This doesn't make sense
to hip-hop.
I don't take social media as a media for music. I'm talking about like relevance is like, I'm not saying her music, like saying somebody is more relevant doesn't mean that music is better. I just don't get that. Like that doesn't make no, like saying somebody's relevant doesn't mean that music is better. So I don't even know what, like that statement you're making isn't even what I'm
arguing. Because we're talking about rap.
But we're not talking about music being better. Who's just more well-known right now? Not even, just who's more talked about? That's it. Who is more talked about in 2022? That's simple. I don't understand like how that's some big fucking like conundrum. Like who's more, like when Boosie said Jay-Z's not relevant right now. And everybody, I mean, they didn't make a big uproar about that, but like he said Jay-Z's not relevant right now, music, because nobody's talking about him music because he ain't dropping no music. How is that a hard? I don't get how that's a hard conversation. We talking about legacy, like even Anthony Davis is hot right now, but Michael Jordan, I don't get how that's. This doesn't make any like this. Like even to say like
that's why I told you. I think you getting your own perspective when you hear relevant. I know most people like the go-to when you hear relevant is right now, but to some people, bro, it don't mean that. That's all I'm saying. And I think
of relevance, I only think of like big time relevance in the conversation that he's had or 21's having. I think about like he's probably talking about mainstream. That's what he's talking about underground, he's talking about like, your favorite fans. Like he's talking about mainstream wise. If you put these two people up, who's more talked about right now? That's it. That's it. Like they don't got to be no deeper than that. Who is more talked about? Who gets more coverage at this moment? That's like me saying who's more relevant right now? Who's more relevant right now? Fucking Obama or Donald Trump? Or like I mean like. Obviously, Obama's the first black president. He's legendary legacy, but obviously it's Trump. Like, I just don't get who's more relevant in 2022, George Washington or Donald Trump? He was the first president ever. He got this fucking legacy of it. Who's more talked about right now on a day-to-day basis? That's relevance to me. That doesn't mean they're better than people. That doesn't mean their music is higher quality. Like,
that's why I said that to you, it don't mean that. To other people, it does.
But
they think her music is going to be here today, gone tomorrow.
But because it only dials down to the context of what 21 Savage was saying. In that context, because he even point out in that thing, Nas makes great music. So like that can't even be you can't even get that from that conversation.
I get what you're saying. So I'm gonna say that most people probably taking what 21 said out of context or didn't hear the context and they only heard.
See, Flying you're talking about your own thing. I'm talking about the conversation 21 was having. So you're talking about some other shit. I'm in the context of conversation of 21 Savage.
That's what I think the argument and the disagreement is coming from, because you're speaking in the context of hearing. I don't even know if you heard the whole conversation or interview. I think probably most people just heard that tweet or just saw the tweet. Gorilla is more relevant than Nas, and people gathered their own interpretation.
Well, that wasn't even a tweet. I said that. No, I didn't say that. I said that.
No, I know you. Wait, what?
21 didn't say Gorilla was more relevant than Nas. I said that on this podcast.
No, I could have swore he said that.
He just said he's not that. He just said he's not that relevant, because essentially that Clubhouse thing, there was essentially like real music. Real music is here. Like King's Disease 3 drop. Real music is here. The kids, y'all can have that her law shit. The real music is here. And then he was like, he's not like relevant to the scheme of music as like y'all are trying to make him. Like overall, I mean, let me not say scheme, because then y'all start going like the legacy is 1994 and Illmatic and all that shit. But in like the mainstream of music, they would consider him not as relevant.
Yeah, but
then you get to it could be an argument. It could be. You about to say mainstream is not big?
It don't run rap. Not the.
So when you say run rap, when you say run rap, what does that mean? Who runs rap right now? The most mainstream artists: Drake, Travis Scott, J. Cole, Kendrick.
In your eyes, in our eyes,
running rap. Who do they think? I mean, I guess the lyrical.
So I think you missing my point. I'm not necessarily. So when I say run mainstream, and the people that listen to mainstream music, I say it's probably like 30%. Then you have the old heads. That's probably like 10%. Then you got the backpackers that don't listen to no mainstream shit. That's probably like 15%. Like, I'm just saying, like, and then I brought up the argument earlier. These people, or last week, these people have all these fucking songs that go viral, but then their albums don't do shit, or they long-term shit don't do shit. So it's like, yeah, they relevant mainstream, but when it comes to sales, it's ass. So, or just as comparable as somebody that's a backpack rapper or someone that's underground, essentially. Like, they're not doing too much bigger numbers than them. So when you say, like, Drake is obviously, it doesn't matter. Like, underground niggas listen to Drake, backpackers listen to Drake. So he falls out of that category. But
Kendrick,
to me,
J. Cole.
Yeah, they kind of fall out of that category of like they merge into many different categories. But my thing is just talking about when we look at rap, and obviously, like, mainstream rap got the white, like, young kids and shit, but like, let's just take them out of that. The people that when we talk about respect rap, values the culture, know the history, or things like that, or just not even know the history, just been in love with rap all their fucking life, it's just not mainstream. Like, a lot of people that love rap hate mainstream music. Like, a lot of people shit on Drake and Kendrick outside of mainstream, but the mainstream media that we mostly listen to when it comes to hip hop, the people that give out the awards, it make it seem like them the only people that's really valued and shit. But when you talk about underground fans and like real hip hop fans that's been here for a long time, they shit on a lot of mainstream artists, man. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, yeah, mainstream matters to hip hop, but it may be like 50-50. Like, there's because if you can get big without being respected by the other side, but you damn near can't. Like, it's like you got to be respected by both. And that's what I mean, don't run it. Because if you can be mainstream, but if you're not respected by the real hip hop fans, you're not gonna have a long career. And that's like Speaks to 6ix9ine, Little Peeps, and all these people. Like, they had the run of a rap like a career or a upcoming rap career, but they didn't have that other 50% that's like you really got that stamp. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you can be mainstream, but if you ain't got the stamp of approval from the side that's like really like feels this way about Nas and really feels this way, you're not gonna make it. And I feel like Drake got that stamp, even though people don't like it. Kendrick obviously got that stamp. J. Cole Ben had that stamp. So they make it. But a lot of these other mainstream people, they not stamped. And that's why they mainstream shit. They mainstream, but it's not really hidden because you ain't respected by the people that really push it. And that's like, I can go to like hip hop and shit like that, or outside of hip hop with clothing and shit. When they see hood people wearing it, or people that's like not like like black people doing their own swag, they gonna jack that shit. Like, oh, that's what black people wearing. That's what black people like. All right, let's copy that shit and let's make it a thing. Like, versus like if you just like the suburban dude, anybody really copying your swag and shit like that.
Yeah.
So so it's like once you get that stamp from like this demographic of hip hop or black people, it hit different for some reason, and that's all I'm saying. So Gorilla ain't got that stamp to a lot of people. So when you say relevant, it's like nope, not to us. That's all I'm for their argument. But like you said, that's kind of out of context of what 21 said. So I'm just giving the context of both sides type shit. But I to me personally, I said I get it in a sense of respect, but I don't know, bro. I'm not as firm on it with you as like you say with Gorilla. Like, yes, he's more relevant, but the motherfucker don't sell over 20K. Is you? How much King did you sold first week?
About the same.
It's like, is you? And I get it, yeah, because her single was bigger, and you can't knock the single, but is you? Like, I'm just saying, people gonna hold their foot on that, bro. Like, you gotta at least do some impressive numbers if you so relevant.
But like I said, relevance just I'm talking about being talked about. That's all I'm talking about.
I know.
That's it. Like, obviously, Nas has a fucking way bigger fan base than Glorilla, so I would expect him to even sell more. Even when I say he's not as when I say relevant, I'm just talking about who's being talked about. That's what I'm talking about. That's all. When I'm talking about relevant, when we talk about,
you're not even talking about sales.
Like, I'm not even I'm just talking about who get talked about the most. That's it. According to D-Fran, Sweetie had a fast food sale where she lit. Hey, y'all can debate whatever the fuck y'all want to debate. Like, relevancy is like, I don't know what's.
I get it, bro, but I think
it's though like there's different context of, and even a Sweetie, like I don't think Sweetie would be. I mean, she's more. Like, I'm just looking at mainstream. Like I said, Nas has fans. So like he's gonna be fucking.
Nah, Sweetie's
here
not
forever. She's gonna be
been.
here forever. Like, I don't know.
No, I think it's one of the things I respect from hip hop. That's all I'm saying. Like, I get it. You're right. Like, honestly, you're right. 21 is right. But the respect from hip hop is like, nah, y'all not gonna speak on our legends like that. And I appreciate the old head standing up for him, because I'm gonna do the same thing with Trey. 20 years from now, watch your mouth, nigga. I don't give a fuck about Lil Peep 2000.
Okay, so let's take away Glorilla. Let's take rappers that are out right now. Let's take away Glorilla. Is not skill wise, is NBA YoungBoy in 2022 more relevant than Nas?
Hip hop head no. Hip hop head no. Because niggas gonna claim they still listening to Nas shit. They gonna still claim Nas in their playlist every day. They ain't listening to that bullshit microwave NBA YoungBoy. He not better. YB not better. That's what they gonna say.
So do you think in 2022 NBA YoungBoy has more people listening to his music than? Let's just take it straight to music. Do you think there's more people that listen to NBA YoungBoy than Nas? And we already have the numbers for this. You can't even say no. If NBA YoungBoy's getting 6 billion streams a year, he has to be getting played more than Nas, right?
Oh, yeah.
If we're gonna go straight music, if we're just gonna go straight listening and all that type of shit,
I guess so. I mean, I would probably cause a little ratio. What's Nas' number? Is it anywhere close?
I don't know what his.
Is it 1 billion?
Because
like I'm gonna say he didn't drop 10 albums, so obviously his number's gonna be a little more higher. But to say you drop,
him doing a billion is still respectable. If he did, I don't think he did a billion, but if he did do,
I don't either. I don't either. I was just saying, if it's somewhere close, I'm gonna be like, well, ratio. But no, like I said, I'm arguing for them, devil's advocate. Personally, yeah, he's more relevant. But hip hop head, they're gonna be like, nah, bro, I'm listening to him more. And backpackers gonna be like, nah, listen to him more. They're gonna be like, his stream's fake or some shit. Which, I mean, shit, you never know, bro.
You never know.
Never know. I do. It's kind of off.
Is he more relevant than Drake?
All right, now.
Look, he's like, is he more relevant than J. Cole? Kendrick? Yes or no? Let's give it that. Travis Scott, Future. Like, stop me when somebody is more relevant. Young Thug,
more relevant.
Bro,
I'm gonna say Kendrick.
You think Nas more relevant than like, bro? Stop the fucking bullshit.
I'm not. No. I'm not speaking for me. I'm speaking for old heads. Like,
why? But you speak for one demographic of people. There's more than just old. You keep saying for the old
heads. Not backpackers.
That's like backpackers, mainstreamers, fly by night niggas that just who is that rapper? They know this name. Like, come on, you naming one group of people. You saying old heads. There's young people, like, come on, you naming one group.
I mean, it's not just the old heads. It's like the real hip hop people, you know, the hippity hop people.
Wouldn't that be the? Well, I mean, I guess what would that be? Would that be backpacker? I don't know what the fuck a backpacker is. What's a backpacker?
Backpackers are like they're like grifters.
They're like grifters.
You can't really like put a nail on them. But when I look at backpackers, I ain't gonna lie, I look at hype beast.
He said, "Don't speak for us, Bryce."
I'm not. I'm sorry. I mean, I was, but I was just trying.
NBA Youngboy is more streamed than Kendrick. Is he more relevant than Kendrick? Like Bryce said, who are you gonna ask? Are you asking the kids under 18? They don't give a fuck about Kendrick Lamar. Are you gonna ask the backpackers? Maybe no. You gonna ask the whatever? Who knows?
It's a tough conversation because that relevant word is really it packs a lot to me, bro. Because this is going into the deepest conversation of relevancies, but if you're the root and foundation of something, you're always like relevant, even if some new shit is coming. So it's like I feel like that's what people like holding on to. Like, yeah, they may have more strings, but
well, maybe okay. So the conversation should be not. He's not relevant. He's just not as relevant as newer people in this landscape of music.
I think people really want to say impactful. That's the real argument people want to have.
Is he impactful still? I mean, what's the difference in impact and relevance?
Who he like? I guess you could say
I was listening to Adam 22 and them today. Adam 22 and them, they was talking about Young Thug, right? They say Young Thug is a GOAT, right? He's a GOAT. And they said he's the most influential and important rapper the past decade. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where they got. I don't know if it's on his sound, the way he sounds, or whatever. But it's like everybody got their own whatever influential means, whatever most impactful means. To them, that means.
I would call that fucking cap. I would say Nas is way.
Let me turn my camera on. We got a good conversation going. I ain't got no damn clips to make out this shit. You keep going though.
Nah, I just disagree. Like to say what name did he say? I don't know, but it's just Nas in my eyes, or that conversation to talk about like who's more impactful, who influenced more people. It's not even close. Like Young Thug or fucking Nas, it's Nas. What are we fucking saying? Like, no matter how much rapidy bullshit that he wants to say, like you gotta have some substance, and Nas is a part of like having substance in rap and actually, you know, having some good conversations in rap. At some point, Young Thug got to put that in his music. So even him is influenced by the Nas's and the lyrical people of the world, because in rap you got to have at least the element of that, even if you're making hits. And on the aspect of how many people Young Thug is influenced, like who the fuck that's relevant? Like we can name relevant people that say Nas is their most influential people, and they are like top people. What niggas? I can't even think of a young Thug spawn that's relevant or big.
Lil Uzi. I'm just saying what people say. I don't know if he's directly a spawn. I don't know if like he's giving off that fashion vibe or that rebellious shit. Maybe like a Playboy Cardi, like all these type of niggas. I don't know.
Nah, I feel like Lil Uzi got his own style. Like, I maybe you talking about like a certain style of song.
I don't know what they're talking about when they said that. They said the most influential the past 10 years. I don't know what they're talking about. So I can't speak to who or where, why, or what that statement makes. Like I would think the Migos are more influential than Young Thug as far as this whole little wave style. They was Mr. Mumble rappers, and then it transformed into whatever. I say Future is more like that's what they said. I don't know. Yeah, I don't agree with it.
I just can't like look, but let's think of other people that came out of Atlanta recently. They don't have that sound. Like Little Baby don't sound nothing like fucking Young Thug. Like nothing about that sounds like these niggas, and they directly from that place that he was supposed to be running for the last 10 years.
Nas?
No, I definitely disrespect Nas all the time. I definitely shit on Nas all the time. Me personally, going back and listening to Nas, I don't love him, but
y'all do.
and like I said, I understand context. So this is me listening 10 years, 20 years later after he had dropped the shit. So that's a different story. And I like Nas's new shit. Like I couldn't think of his old stuff, but I went back. I remember his King Diseases. I like his King Diseases. Like I shit on him because how heavy people go like hard for him. But I'm like, we can look at his era. He wasn't even like top 10.
What you mean? Like, we saw the sales, man. We can't do that no more, man. We saw the sales.
I know I'm being funny,
they was
bro.
fucking with him.
But the reason I put like when I say his era is like the 90s, right? So you got Biggie, you got Snoop,
he was one of the top niggas.
I know, but you got a lot of niggas. That's all I was saying. Like, yeah, he might be top 10, but like Drake is number one in his era.
Some of them, some people say it was number one. You see Jay-Z say they argue in the barbershop who big Kendrick Jay. Not I was a Kendrick Jay-Z or Nas. Biggie Jay-Z or Nas. Like, maybe top 3.
I know. I'm being funny though.
Or maybe that's just a New York thing. I don't know what y'all niggas thinking nationwide. Maybe nationwide. I don't know. I said I was a kid. I was still like 4 years old when that shit was going on.
I got fly low fucking heated. Nah, so look, you want me to keep going? I keep going. We got Biggie, Tupac, Snoop. Tell me when I should stop. Fuck, I had a list better. Well, for this the other time. I already had more than that. DMX is 90s? Jay-Z.
DMX what, 99, 98, 98, 98? I think 98.
He dropped some fire shit.
From 98 2000, he's somewhere in there. I don't know exactly. He was in there somewhere.
Jay-Z.
But do a lot of people consider Jay-Z was better in the 90s? When did people start thinking Jay-Z really popped? I'm just asking the old niggas. When did Jay-Z accelerate into the biggest artist in the world?
I'm just making an argument. I could be dead ass wrong. Like, y'all could think he better than Snoop, and that's the end of
Wu-Tang.
I'm just saying, man.
Mobb Deep.
Niggas out there, bro.
Big L.
Not
Big Pun.
What's the name? What's the name? I can't think of it. It's not Ghostface. It's it start with an R or something like that. They say he like they're like he not Raycon. It's one of them dudes. They're like he the best rapper of all time, some shit like that.
No, not RZA. RZA was like the producer. I think about Gizza.
Let me look up some more 90s. But I've definitely trolled Nas before.
He got to be top 10 of his time.
Lauryn Hill? Nah.
Shit, hey, Lauryn Hill's she's Eminem. Didn't Eminem come out in the 90s? His first album?
Yeah. Ice Cube. I mean, he got NWA. I'm just saying.
Jay-Z didn't.
Rakim is what I wanted to say.
Oh, Rakim. Jay-Z didn't get that King title after Big Pimpin'. Okay.
LL Cool J or Nas?
You ask some people, old motherfucker back in the day, they'll say LL Cool J probably.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm bullshitting. He's still top 10 in that era of greatness. So even if you're top 15, there's a lot of greats in that era, bro. So even then, I'm trolling him. I'm not the biggest Nas fan. Like, he only got 2 hits.
He said he only got 2 hits.
I went back and listened. I'm like, that's it. Nigga get washed in the verses.
He got some good. We talk about verses, but it depends who's listening. If the backpackers are listening, he got 20 certified. Like, if the backpackers are the old heads, all right, yeah, okay, we'll fucking see. We'll fucking see. Not respected though. Nas got 9 million monthly listeners, but that's because legendary. That's legendary status. You got that long length of discography. You're gonna be around. People gonna fuck with it. I don't know, but when I think of the word relevant, I just think of different things. I'm not gonna lie. Look, I could be wrong. Like I said, y'all talk about on a global. If y'all talking about like on a global thing, because when I'm thinking about relevant, I'm thinking about like Bryce. I'm thinking about the hubs in which I see on social media, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, little people, whether it's I see academics posting or jumper. I'm just thinking I'm in that range. Like I don't go outside. I work from home. Like I'm not in the club. Like I'm not even, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. But I'm just going in the realm that I'm in. I see people talk about Glorilla more than him. But when you look up the past 12 months of search terms of Glorilla and Nas. Nas is outperforming Glorilla even when she popped off the most. So just the term Nas, maybe, like I said, legendary status, he's being talked about a lot more. And this is around where she kind of popped off a little bit, started getting famous, blah, 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 blah. But he's always been on top. Every state, blue, blue, blue. Even in her own state of Tennessee. Where's Tennessee at? Fuck is Tennessee? Boom, still more. So I said, it could be wrong. I'm talking about in the places I'll be around. But regardless, that conversation's old. Bullshit. Tired. We got anything else? I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Is it muted? Oh, podcast over. I mean, it is what you're looking for. Is it what you're considered for look at relevant or what you're subscribed? Hold on. Is it what you're looking for considered relevant or what you're subscribed to and who they say is popping? I mean, I don't go off who people say is popping because people say these little underground motherfuckers, autumns and summers, and they say these motherfuckers is popping, but I don't think they popping. Like I said, bro, Glorilla is her breakout year. Niggas know like who Glorilla is, and even in this argument that we're having, I feel like a lot of people would still like it. Like it's just places that I be looking at. Like I don't know what y'all watch. I don't know who y'all listen to or whatever. Just like, cause I be doing new shit. So obviously I'm subscribed to all these fucking blogs. I'm subscribed to No Jumper, Academics, Rap Life, Rap, fucking Shade Room, all these places. When you look at these conversations, they all say the same shit. They would think that this person, it wouldn't even Glorilla wasn't even an argument with these people, but they would kind of was still agreeing with 21 Savage in the grand scheme of 2022. But like I said, people have their different whatever. Some people think Tech Nine is the most relevant rapper of all time because that's their fan. They love him, right? So that's just how that goes. Nas paid the Chinese. He paid the Chinese. I don't know what happened to this motherfucker, but we're supposed to be talking about this goddamn open marriage shit. Okay, let's see if it works now. Go to you see settings on your thing, and it say your mic is on. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Call the feds. Here go the damn cat, fucking up the damn camera. Jesus Christ. We got a whole concoction going on over there. Where's Trail at? Trail mic wouldn't have broke. No. All right, we got to shut this bitch down. That's it for tonight. Okay, let's see if that one works. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Where Trail at when you need it, man? Where my backup host at? Where my backup host? Open marriage, different applying for this. No, it don't got nothing to do with me. This is a story we seen on social media. That's a fucking crazy ass story. If Bryce could get something to work over there. I think Bryce muted himself. He just don't know how he did it. Oh, I can edit your mic. Oh, no, I can only edit that. I can't edit all your settings. Excuse me. Everybody here watching right now, we're still having a little bit of technical difficulties over there on B Neil Studios.
Yo.
Okay, there we go.
All right. But I was about to say, even for what you said earlier, you was like the where you be listening to, or like, the spaces, like a lot of people don't respect Ack. A lot of people be like, Ack is like not hip hop and still trying to get him out of here, even though this nigga solidified at this point. They still try to get him out of here. So yeah, it's just hip hop encompasses a lot of different groups that I respect, but I don't be paying attention to.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get to the open marriage shit, man. So
you gotta play that clip because that shit was wild.
Let me see if I can play that shit. Do I have a thing? I'll just play it through. I gotta find it though. You post it on your page? You be tweeting too damn much.
Yeah, I posted it, but I talked about it.
Because just like to think that like you would do this to yourself.
What
Like, I mean, he cheated, right? And then I guess his compromise was like, let's have an open marriage. Okay, here it is.
I mean, her compromise
To
was.
forgive me if we open the marriage, but now I live in agony every day. That was the title. So basically, my wife, 39, found out that I, 41, had been hooking up with a woman I met online who lived 2 hours away. When the woman visited, we checked into a hotel. This went on for 3 months, and we had met a handful of times when my wife caught us. She was waiting in the hotel lobby and saw us coming down from the room. She left me the next day. We separated for 8 months, and they were terrible on all of us, especially the kids.
They have kids.
Yeah, they got 3 kids.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife thought that since our sex life wasn't enough for me, and that she was sure I would cheat on her again, we might as well open the marriage.
Okay.
I told her no, because
That's
after my
crazy
mistake,
logic.
she wouldn't waver. I relented. We decided not to tell each other that whenever they slept with
Never
somebody, they're not
negotiate.
going to say when, where, and with whom. Now, over 2 years later, this is the sad part. We are back to normal on the outside. On the inside, I'm dying a little each day. Every time I see her happy, I wonder if this is just her old bubbly self, or if she was thinking of somebody else.
My boy is
She's a very
broken.
beautiful woman, and I'm sure she has no problems finding men who want her. Whenever she takes a shower after coming home, whenever she rejects my advances, I
She
think
got
that she has
dick on
been
her
with
brain.
someone, and that kills me.
If she laughing, she
I
evil.
feel you, brother. I feel you.
He laughing, he evil too.
I had tried to do
Hey yo, what the fuck?
but she shuts these attempts very quickly with a divorce card.
Mm-hmm.
Before all this happened, we had amazing sex several times a
bro.
week. But now, we have probably done it 4 or 5 times these past 3 years.
Damn.
She demands I use protection, and she refuses to let me eat her or make her cum in any way. I stopped asking
boy's a
because
cook.
the sex is painfully bad now. I haven't slept
Whoa, what is that? Whoa, okay.
I haven't
Painfully bad.
yeah.
Oh my God, okay.
I haven't slept with anybody else because the look on my wife's face in that lobby still makes me sick.
Oh hell no! Okay, I didn't even see the whole damn thing like that. Motherfucker, if you plan on not cheating no goddamn more, we ain't opening up shit. You telling me she out here fucking gallivanting around all these people possibly, and you go just sit there and be like, oh, I've only had sex with my wife 3. He said 4 to 5 times in 3 years, and he ain't even he's not even partaking in the open marriage type part of it.
Nah, it really was just on her end. She brought it to the table on some. This the only way it's gonna work, but she knew from the jump. But
No, I get that, but I'm saying like he agreed to it, and he's not even partaking in it. At least if you gonna fucking do it, just partake and go get you some pussy somewhere else.
I don't think he wanted to partake in it because he learned his lesson, and he really just want her back and whatever it's gonna take because he feel like he fucked up, which beta, because that's essentially what it is, man. Like you never negotiate, bro. You never. It's one of them things you don't negotiate, bro, because it's
That's
like
not even a conversation that will come up. Like, oh well, you cheated, so you're not gonna stop cheating. So my thing is, we're gonna have open marriage, and then we're not gonna tell each other when we go back and forth and doing whatever. And then you're gonna have to guess or maybe think, because like we don't know. Maybe she didn't fuck anybody. Maybe she just torturing the motherfucker for all we know. But
who would do like that? That's my thing. You heard the girl sniggling and shit like that. It's like I get it. People fuck up, right? But I'm asking you a question into the chat. When do you be like, I loved this person, but they done so much wrong to me, I can now do them wrong and don't feel anything? Like what? Like do you think there's a level, or do you even feel like you can ever wouldn't you just be like, you know what? I love you.
Why don't we just end it?
Fucked up. Let's just like who would be proud about dragging somebody they loved, even if it did in circumstances you wouldn't? It's like, don't you care about that person still, even though you don't like that person anymore? Like you cannot like somebody and still care about their well-being. Am I in a fairy tale world or some shit? Like to think like you can like laugh or be okay with breaking your spouse because they did you wrong. And let's be real. If you don't believe them, just don't take them back. But if you believe them, like what? I just don't see it. A reason besides she wanted to break him. She wanted to be spiteful, bro. Like, and honestly, I feel like what she's doing is way worse than what he ever did.
This psychological warfare.
Like, he cheated, but when he cheated, of course, he gonna hurt somebody, even if you don't intentionally try to do it, because it's gonna come out or whatever. Like, it just you're wrong, right? Yeah. But he wasn't trying to break her. He wasn't trying like he would. You know what I mean? These actions, bro. The not knowing, the rejecting him, like the probably being a bitch, being argumentative, other different things. She's doing that on purpose at this point, and she know how much it hurts him because, bro, you a man's spirit is easy to pick up on, and a nigga that's you know a young girl be like, what's wrong if you quiet or you'll say you could. I know with a woman it's probably easier to tell when they being in their bag of emotions. You be like, what's wrong? You can tell when somebody not themselves, and you living like that every day, knowing that this person is miserable because you playing with them. And yeah, they play with you, but like I said to the chat, bro, and you, bro, at what point do you feel like is it? Obviously, they cheated, right? Would you feel like that's enough?
Well, one time cheating to do what? What are you asking? My bad.
Like that you'll be fine enough dragging them and some shit.
Nah, what? I just ended. I wouldn't do all the extra shit like that.
Habitual cheating.
I still just leave. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I just leave. Like,
She take the kids and the half of the house.
So I live on another half.
Huh?
I live on another half.
No, like I'm saying, like say it was a divorce and she rakes you clean.
Did she take half of the house? Like I got another half.
So this my room still, right? I get that.
Shit, I still can stay in the master. But now, what you saying? Like if she take the kids and in the house
that you probably bought and paid for, would you feel comfortable dragging her name or talking like
no?
Still
dragging her to what? Like on social media and shit?
I don't know. Emotionally abusive, doing some type of get back.
I just ain't that type of person. Like I'm just gonna have to move the fuck on and give a fuck.
And that's my
thing. When you do all that dragging shit, you first of all you still care, but like you still hurt by the situation to even continue on to do that type of shit. And it's just like it ended up being like an evil like type of action. I don't want to be an evil motherfucker.
You mentioned you think
even if evil done been done to you, even if evil done been done to you, is kind of like if you're not an evil person at heart, it's kind of hard for you to still do evil, even when somebody's inflicted something on you. That's probably why you see some of these motherfuckers out here like, oh, I forgive the person that killed my son, because like they're just not evil people. They're just like, we can call it dumb and all this type of shit, but it's like that's just not how they are. Now, obviously, some people be like, fuck them, go to hell. They'll attack them in the courtroom and do all this. But some people give them like, I forgive you. I see one mama who I think her son got killed. They're trying to steal shoes, and the mama was there like, you made a big mistake. You stole somebody's baby. Like she was talking about, she was gonna write him while he was in prison, and you know what I mean? Like you can see maybe that's torture. Like, why is this guy's mama still write me? But she was saying as far as like, I'm gonna help counsel and do all whatever fuck she was saying. I don't remember the whole like story of it, but some people just don't got it in them to commit evil on the others, even though they mean evil to committed onto them.
And that was my thing, bro. And I've seen a constant thread of women thinking it's okay to be that miserable bitch. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I know Diaries of a Mad Black Woman. The nigga was a disgusting person, right?
Abusive, everything.
Was he abusive?
Yeah, he was hitting her and shit.
I didn't know that. I thought he was just cheating.
Oh, he was hitting
and
her
then
and
like left her and stuff. Like the dark skinned dude that ended up in crippled.
Yeah, he was hitting her and shit.
Oh, never mind. I take everything I said back then. I didn't know he was hitting her. Because I was gonna say how abusive she was to him, like letting him drown and stuff. I thought this was just like he cheated on her, and like one day, like he just bought the bitch in the house and then got her out the house. I remember that happening. You know, like he had the girl he was with.
But what if it like her thinking I'm being the perfect wife? I'm cooking, cleaning for this guy. I get it, he's a big shot, whatever. I don't know if he was a lawyer or what. I don't know.
Drowning the nigga?
He hurt her, man. He kicked her out. Like he pretty much made her homeless effective immediately. Like you can see that some hoe ass shit too, though, right? Like say the guy's not the breadwinner, and the woman's just like, get the fuck out of my house. I'm with this new You're like, damn, what the fuck?
No, that's
You're
the
like,
that's the hoest of shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's a bitch ass nigga. And I don't see if you like just like I said on one side, I could never imagine doing that to a loved one just on some like sex shit. Like if the person did you wrong, y'all tired of each other, boom, I can understand that. But how he did it, nah, that's some wild shit. Especially when you not if you rich and you don't even make sure she good after that, nah, that's crazy. But all I was gonna say is like that type of narrative I seen on Twitter is like he did me wrong, so now I can even push it further because I didn't know he beat on her. So that's pretty even to me. Yes, kind of drowned the nigga. Just I got you, nigga. Psych. it's kind of even in.
Yeah.
Wait, no. I think we're talking about different movies. Is this who threw the grits? Who threw grits?
Was that Baby Boy? I don't know. What was that?
No, that's another Madea movie.
I know what the diary. I know what the Grits was the same movie.
But that was on. He threw that. She threw that on the dark skin nigga. I thought that was the. I thought that
was that Taraji.
Yeah, I think that was another one. I thought that's the one with the father with Idris Elba or something. I don't know. I didn't know he was beating on her. But my initial point, and I guess I get that.
That was I have some butter. A little something to add to your recipe book. Let's see. Was this Medea's Family Holiday? It was probably a different Madea movie.
Yeah, I don't remember him beating on her. But if he did, it takes my point away. But I will make this point in another context. Or if he didn't beat on her, it really will make my point. So what I was saying is, like, it seems like
this is a different Madea movie.
Okay, but it still don't we still don't know if he beat on her for a fact, right? Or you remember that for a fact.
I could have swore he hit her, but I could be wrong. Like I said, so many fucking stories. There's so many stories people can hear.
Did the dark skinned bald nigga black dude beat on the lady that he kicked out the house in Diaries of a Mad Black Woman, or he just cheated on her? I said that he beat on her. The dude that ended up in the wheelchair. That's it. Oh, he did. Okay. Nah, she said she dragged him out the house and he might have slapped her.
No, she did drag out the house. Yeah, that's some other shit. But
okay. Yeah. No. But my thing is like with they feel like since I got hurt, it's okay for me to hurt that person and even go further than what may have been done to me because I feel like it's justified. And to me, it's that Diaries of a Mad Black Woman. And it, like I said, for the longest, women feel like that's comfortable and that's cool. But in my mind, that's playing with evil, and that speaks to a level of character of you that you even feel like it's comfortable, like you comfortable enough saying that was okay. Like these women on Twitter, like, oh yeah, shout out to her. I would have did the same thing. Like this bitch stupid stuff. Like I mean, that nigga stupid. That's what he get. That's what he deserved. And it's like, bro, you really don't have a heart, or maybe you just like I don't know, bro. I just could never imagine me. Like I can think of many different scenarios where it's just like. I am sick of you. I'm done with you. But like to like want to drag you through some shit is crazy. Like it's obviously the most worst case scenario. Like maybe you slept with my best friend or some shit like that. Like crazy scenarios that I don't even think will happen. But that would be like I'm done with you on some shit. Like I never probably want to look at you again. But like I think that's also healthy love versus like let's stay together, try to make it work. But I'm like I'm fucking bitter. I'm insecure. I'm easily fucking like wearing my heart on my sleeve and shit, and I'm damn near about to be abusive for the shit that you done to me.
Yeah,
like nah, that's just not right, bro.
Yeah, it's too much. But that shit crazy. I just want to talk about that clip real quick. No, EDP shit, fuck it.
It's blasphemous, bro, when you think about it, bro. Like, nigga, just like I ain't gonna say imagine. Don't imagine that shit. But to think like that could be somebody and she's fine with that, bro. Like, hey, man, y'all be wondering why the red pill community don't exist, bro. Because let's be real, bro. Nobody deserves that, bro. Like, imagine me saying it's okay for a nigga to be like spiteful and somewhat borderline abusive to that girl because she cheated on you. You know how many motherfuckers get cheated on? Grow the fuck up. Get over it. We've all been cheated on. Whether it's actual sex or some flirty shit, it ain't I don't mean with your significant other at one point in your life, bro. It's a human experience. Get over yourself. Get out your fucking feelings and grow the fuck up. Just like breakups, bro.
But you gotta feel that pain, man. You ain't never felt that pain?
Of what?
Being cheated on.
I get it, but to want to drag that person and think it's justified, it's like, nah, bro. It's too many people out here that's done that and been strong and had showed character. But like I said, I know for a fact my brother's dad's sister got killed because she wanted to break up with the nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's justified because she cheated on the nigga or some shit like that. It's like, no, he's an emotional bitch and he's wrong for that shit. And it's no different than these women that were to do something like that. Obviously, it's not abusive in a
He killed her because he got cheated on?
It was something to do with she didn't want to be back with him type shit. And yeah, one morning we woke up, and I was like, it's like 6 or 7 or some shit like that. Everybody was crying, but yeah, some middle of the night shit. Outside the house, like she was trying to get away, but he just was like, nah, she ain't coming back. And he shot her like in her back or some shit like that. But it's plenty of like scenarios where men feel like they are just because, oh, she cheated with my nigga. Oh, she cheated, or oh, she took all the kids. It's like, I ain't gonna lie. To a dude, they can feel broken, but nah, you can't. No, bro. No, you gotta have enough character. You gotta have enough nuts to realize, bro, there's more fish in the sea. You can recover. You can get whatever you lost back because, bro, many of men before you have been through it, bro. So I just said, it's always funny with these women, bro. Whenever you flip the conversation, that person would be the most abusive person in the fucking world. And it's like when you flip it to their side and they're able to do it, oh, it's cool, it's justified. It's very fucking childish to me, man. Yeah. These Twitter women, bro. There's something else.
That's the world.
Would you rather? I even seen some shit like some dumb, just dumb shit, bro. Like, with slavery, they should have only freed the women. Just like, so like you gonna have kids? You gonna like what about your father? Like, so if you didn't have a father, like you wouldn't have been born, right? Like these hoes just be fucking. See women being like, yeah, that's why I love Cynthia G. Like, comfortable saying this shit. Comfortable saying this shit, but hey, get rid of Kanye, huh? Get rid of Kanye, huh? Yeah. So many people that say blasphemous shit, do blasphemous shit, have blasphemous behavior, bro, and then let's judge the other people. It's just a lot of people throw rocks from a glass house, bro. It is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But that's all we got, man. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's all we got. No more Dion topics. Even though that motherfucker seemed like he about to start highly recruit motherfucker. So we'll see how that season goes. Like we might be wrong about his recruiting. I don't know. But we'll let that play out. I see a lot of people like it. I see a lot of people say, hey, Dion, we coming. Like I said, when you think of a transfer person, maybe they're not the greatest person from their team, but they look like, a former 5-star running back from Alabama wants to go to Colorado. And maybe he does. Maybe his talent level is Pac-12 and not SEC. So maybe he go to the Pac-12 and he go crazy. Who knows? Oh, she plotting.
I mean, I guess I ain't worried. No weapon should prosper around here, big dog.
But that's all we got. Fuck EDP, he a pedo. That's all I got, man. Oh, I was reading. I wanted to read this thing because I was reading this book. I got a bunch of books over the weekend, and I got this book called "The Devil You Know," a Black Power Manifesto. Right? I've been I'm getting away from all this self-help bullshit. Like I don't know.
I bet you're gonna say I'm getting away from my white side.
Getting away from all that self-help bullshit. Like I rather read like historical type shit. And I was just thinking when we was thinking about we talking about that reparation shit. We talking about the South. They're gonna have to pay you in the South. And he was talking about in the first couple of pages. He was discussing a lot of black people was moving to Chicago, Pennsylvania, St. Louis, yada yada. Whenever World War I happened, because a lot of factories had a lot of job openings and people wanted to leave the South, right? But he was talking about, let me read this. So, white people in Chicago found a way to formalize and ensure segregation. Restrictive covenants. These covenants were contractually arrangements between sellers and buyers attached to parcels of land that prohibited black people from using, occupying, buying, leasing, or receiving property in those areas. The Chicago Real Estate Board not only proposed explicit housing segregation by race, but also petitioned the city council to pass an ordinance prohibiting further migration of blacks to Chicago until such a time as the city could work out reasonable restrictions sufficient to prevent lawlessness, destruction of values and property, and loss of life. After the 1919 riots, the use of restrictive covenants surged. By 1939, an estimated 80% of all Chicago's land area was covered by these covenants. Many had forfeited land in the South, so which a lot of black people owned a little bit of land. They gave that land up in the South in order to migrate, only to be forbidden from acquiring land where they settled in the North. As James R. Grossman wrote in Land of Hope, too many black Southerners' northward migration meant abandoning the dreams of independence through land ownership that had been central to Southern black culture since emancipation. Jesus Christ, Chicago. We got to get into Chicago, man. Let me
Redlining, unions, all those different tactics.
People thought it was sweet in the South. They were doing all that homestead. That's the thing too. People, all white people that you've seen, they're so confused. Why is black people's wealth this way? Why, bro, look at all this shit they're doing. They was creating city ordinances to do all that. And I'm not, I mean, I've heard of redline. I'm just saying, like, I'm getting specific of what was actually happening in this specific place. Like, even the real estate board was like, hey, no more black people can move here until we figure out where to put you motherfuckers at. That's crazy.
Which it shouldn't even been like that, because it's like, well, you got money, we got land.
Yeah, they don't want that shit.
Special circumstances for, But
yeah, different strokes, different folks. But that's all we got today, man. Make sure you subscribe to already. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Absolute Sure Podcast. Go subscribe to D-Friend Daily. We surpassed 500 subscribers. Salute everybody subscribed over there. Shout your shit out, man.
Emerald Gamer and Reactions, man. Check me out. Check me out.
That's it. Thursday night show. We'll be back next week. It's your boy D-Friend.
Boy B Neil. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.